Hey y'all, I'm Kendrick Shope. Now I know what you might be thinking. Oh great, here comes another person telling me a ton of skill sets that I need to run a successful business. But not so quick. I'm gonna share with you today a no BS, true way to make money in your business. I am so glad that you are here for Sell Like a Woman, the podcast. Welcome to another week of broadcasting wherever you are, right? And this is in corporate housing in South Carolina. For those of you, we got some emails about what is corporate housing. And so I should clarify, we moved for my husband's job from Arkansas to South Carolina into a corporate apartment until we can find a house. We literally packed the house and we're out in 2 days. Like they said, go, and so we went. And so corporate housing is the apartment that we call home until we find a place to put down roots and a home to buy. So that's what corporate housing is. It's why we don't have pictures on the walls of our own, and it's why the angle of this video is kind of funky because I don't have everything set up perfectly yet. But, you know, one of the things that I have learned after years of running this business is you don't press pause just because your circumstances change. Imperfect action is sometimes the only action you can take. And so that's why we're coming. That's why Sell Like a Woman, we refuse to say we're taking the next 2 months off because you deserve better, just because it's not pretty or it's not perfect. So you deserve better. And so I love to invite you all into our lives. And so that's why you're here in corporate housing with me. Today, we have got a very special guest on the show today. I'm super excited about this guest. And the guest was very hard to get. Now, when you hear who the guest is, you're gonna think she's lost. That's it. She's lost her ever loving mind. She teeters a little bit on crazy, but she's lost her ever loving mind. What does this have to do with me? Stick with me, because by the end of this Sell Like a Woman show, I guarantee you are going to have so many good nuggets to take away to help you build a business that you love, to help you have the impact and the reach you want to have, and to help you make money. So today's guest is, drum roll please, Alexander Hamilton. That's right. Now, Alexander Hamilton's been dead for, 250 years. I can't do the math, but a long time. So how is Alexander Hamilton going to be our guest? Well, first of all, before we get into that, let's talk about who Alexander Hamilton is and why I even want to talk about Alexander Hamilton today. For those of you who love the theater, you may know that Hamilton is the Tony Award-winning Broadway show, which I still haven't gotten tickets for yet. Anybody watching that can get me the hookup for tickets? My producer and I were just talking about getting hookup for tickets. She's like, I don't have the hookup for tickets. Like, damn, Nancy, if you don't have the hookup, I sure don't. But anybody got the hookup for tickets, send them my way because we are dying to see it. It's coming here to Greenville next year, but we would love to see it on Broadway. So anyway, it is that Hamilton that we're talking about. That Hamilton, one of our founding fathers, and the most unlikely of all guests to sit metaphorically here on the couch with me and talk about selling like a woman. I mean, after all, Alexander Hamilton lived in an era where women didn't have rights at all. So how is he going to tell us to run an online business that makes money, that has impact, and that allows you to do the work that you're here to do? I'm so glad you asked. So a little bit of backstory about Mr. Hamilton here, our guest. Mr. Hamilton grew up not in this country. He was an immigrant, and he was able to come to this country long before Donald Trump got a hold of immigration, and he moved to this country, and he wanted a better life for himself. He was an orphan. He worked on a slave ship where they brought slaves in, and he was just apparently, according to everything you read, he was disgusted by the way people were treated. And he was really one of the original thought leaders and did a lot of writing about equal rights for people of all color. He's a pretty fascinating man, but he moved to this country and went to King's College, and tried to go to Princeton, couldn't get in, went to King's College, and it was there that, well, actually, it was overseas where he discovered that he had a talent for writing. But at King's College, this was really nurtured and filtered. And turns out he was a whiz with a pen. He could sell any idea by what he wrote. And there are numerous examples of things that ended up in our Constitution and things that ended up today strictly from how Alexander Hamilton sold the people on his ideas through his words. So he was a master salesman, which is one of the reasons that we want him here. We want to have him here on our show today. So a couple of things about Alexander Hamilton that are also relevant. Alexander Hamilton had no shot. He had no chance of making it. He had no chance of becoming George Washington's right-hand man on paper, which he ended up being George Washington's right-hand man. He had no shot of coming to a country. He didn't even have the money to come to a country, of coming to a country where he could fight for freedom, where he could become somebody that we're talking about 200, 250 years later. No shot. He had no chance. Nothing was going for him. He was broke. He had no parents. He worked on a freaking slave ship. He had no shot. Yet somehow Alexander Hamilton ended up here in the United States and became one of our forefathers. Now, the first key takeaway here that I want you to hear is you got to rise up. And that's a quote from the Hamilton musical. You got to rise up from wherever you are. If your business is not making money, if you are ready to quit, but you know deep down in your gut that you have impact to make, that your people are out there, I want you to pause and I want you to hear me say, rise up. Rise up from wherever you are. Rise up. And that starts right here in your mindset. There's a song in Hamilton where they're introducing George Washington and they say, here comes the general, rise up. Here comes the general, rise up. And I literally, when I get down, when I get demotivated, I put that song in my ears and in my head, my earphones, and I listen, rise up, rise up, rise up. It's even become sort of a makeshift theme in the authentic selling community, which you should totally join because you get free coaching and free amazing advice in the authentic selling community. We'll put the link in here for you, but you need to rise up. You must have the mindset of somebody like this, of what Mr. Alexander Hamilton had, which is the ability to say, I will not miss my shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. Just like my country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. That's what you got to be, young, scrappy, hungry. Maybe you don't have to be young, but scrappy and hungry, right? I will not throw away my shot. Mindset. Step number one in running a business that has impact, that makes money, that leads you to places you only dreamed, whether that's the top of the New York Times bestseller list or Oprah's couch or wherever you want to be, starts right here in your mind. I can't tell you how many times I cried my eyes out thinking I should go back to selling drugs, the legal kind. I can't tell you. This is hard, people. There is a reason that the majority of the population of the world chooses not to start a business. It's freaking hard. And anybody who tells you that it's easy, don't trust them. It doesn't have to kill you. You can learn to run a business with ease, but it's hard. You're in a unique club of people, who refuse to settle, who are ready to rise up, who say, I'm not throwing away my shot, even when I get knocked down, even when it looks like I don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. That's the first lesson from Alexander Hamilton, is you got to get this part right. You got to get your mindset right, whatever it takes to motivate you. You know, we had Jen Sincero, I can't say her name, Jen Sincero on here earlier this year talking about the same exact thing when it comes to money. You know, what you believe about how hard or how easy it is to make money is true. You got to get your mindset right. Now, I'm not a mindset coach, right? I mean, I'm pretty practical and pretty tangible. I like you to set me up. Let's knock it out of the park, be done. But I am telling you, after 6 years of coaching amazing entrepreneurs, after seeing people go from $60,000 launches to $600,000 launches, the first thing that has to be in place is this rise up, I'm not going to miss my shot mentality, or you're doomed. Everything else is doomed. And the good news is I got nothing to sell you about mindset. So I'm not trying to lead you into a program. I am telling you, you got to get it right, period. How do you know if your mindset's off, right? How do you know if your mindset's off? Well, number one, you say things like, I can't afford it, when you see a program that you want to buy. Now, I know what you may be thinking, oh, but Kendrick, you don't know my finances. You're right, I don't. And your finances are none of my business. But here's what I know. I put $100,000 in training on credit cards that I did not have the money to pay for because I knew this was my mission in life. I said yes to opportunities that didn't make a lick of sense on paper because I knew this was my mission in life. That's what I'm talking about, rising up. That's what I'm talking about, not missing your shot. I have been so flat on my face and so broke that I have wondered what in the heck I was going to do next. But you get back up, kind of like Rocky Balboa. Maybe we'll have him on here next, right? Every time you get knocked down 99 times, you get up again. So step number 1 to running this business that has impact, that makes money, that lands you at the top of the New York Times bestsellers list, Oprah's couch, whatever is, just like Alexander Hamilton says, rise up. Don't miss your shot. Be young, scrappy, and hungry, and go out there and get it. That's step number 1. You have got to rise up. Step number 2 is action. You can't think your way to the New York Times bestseller list. You can't. No matter how hard you try, you can't think your way to the New York Times bestseller list. Just like I can't think my way to being in O Magazine, which I'm going to end up in one day. You can't think your way to that, right? So we start with the mind. It lays the foundation. The mind is the gas in the car, but you got to take action. You got to take action, even if it's imperfect action like what we're talking about here. This is not a perfect scenario, right? It's not, but it works. You've got to take action. And what I mean by action is you need to get out among your people. What? Enter our politician. I don't know how many different ways I can say this. I've said it a million times, but hear me say, politicians, when they run for office, know what it means to be out among your people. There's a story in here about Aaron Burr, who eventually shot Alexander Hamilton. And Aaron Burr kind of played both sides of the fence. He wasn't sure if he wanted to be all rise up, because the rise up people might not win. And he wasn't sure he wanted to be all, yay England, because the rise up people might beat the England people. This is the worst history lesson ever. This is like an Andy Griffith history lesson, just so y'all know. But eventually, Aaron Burr decides he's going to run for United States Senator. This is after we've declared we've won the Revolutionary War, and he sees that the rise up people are going to meet. And he goes door to door to door. And there's this scene in the book where Alexander Hamilton confronts Burr. And he says, you're going door to door. What's up? You're usually not that outspoken about what you want. And Aaron Burr says, yeah, I'm going after what I want in life. I learned it from you. I learned that you got to be out there among your people. You can't straddle both sides of the fence. You're either in or you're out. That's the mentality you got to have to run a business that makes money. You got to be in or out, and you got to be out among your people. You cannot hide behind your storefront. I don't care if it's a brick and mortar. I don't care if it's an online business. It is not a if you build it, they will come world. It is a you build it and you hustle your ass off to tell them why they need you. But before you tell them why they need you, they've got to meet you. So again, history nerd here. This is what I call, there are a couple of tools that we learn in sales school. One of them is called the Obama tool. One of them is called the Dr. Dre tool. And this is called the Jimmy Carter tool. So I got all kinds of them, man. Got all kinds of them. But the Jimmy Carter tool is this, and the John F. Kennedy tool. So much better than Jimmy Carter tool. It sounds so much nicer. Jimmy Carter, Barack Obama did this too, when he decided he wanted to run for president, went all through the state of Georgia, and he said, hi, my name's Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president of the United States. What problems can I solve for you? You see, Jimmy Carter didn't really have a snowball's chance in hell because nobody knew who he was. So what did he do? He went out and he engaged with his people. And he didn't sell them anything. He didn't ask for their vote. He said, hi, my name's Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president of the United States. What problems can I help you with? By the way, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, if you like Carter, if you don't, it doesn't matter. Barack Obama did the same thing when he was running for U.S. Senator. That first time when he was running for junior senator and nobody knew who he was, he started at the top or maybe the side or the whatever of the state of Illinois, and he went everywhere. He went into podunk towns. He went in everywhere. And, you see politicians having pie that, they would never eat. They would never eat pie cooked with lard, but they're eating them. I'm not saying you have to be fake, but what I'm saying is you got to get out amongst your people. And Barack Obama said, hi, I'm running for senator of the great state of Illinois. Tell me about your problems. Tell me what's going on. What can we fix? He didn't sell them. He got out among his people. Step number 1, rise up. Rise up. Don't miss your shot. Get your mentality right. Step number 2 is action. Get out among your people. They can't buy from you if they don't know you. You can't have impact if they don't know you exist. And it is too noisy of an environment to just build it and hope they come. So step number 1, again, is rise up. Don't miss your shot like Alexander Hamilton. Step number 2, like Aaron Burr, when he finally figured it out. I don't want to straddle both sides of the fence. I want to go door to door and campaign. He said it's exhausting. You're damn right it's exhausting. Do what Barack Obama did. Do what John F. Kennedy did. He got killed for it. But be out among your people. Shake their hands. Talk to them. Find out what they want. Who do you want to buy from? Do you want to... Do you want to buy from somebody you don't know? Or do you want to buy from somebody who shakes your hand, who sits down and has a piece of pie with you that you know they'd never eat and says, tell me about your problems? That's who you want to buy from. This is an authentic selling foundation. It's called All Things Being Equal, Friends Buy from Friends. All things being unequal, friends buy from friends. What that means is if you've got two offers, right? And they're identical, just like these 2 sheets of paper. You got 2 offers and they're identical. This offer is being sold by somebody you know, you like, and you trust, and who is engaged with you. But this offer is a little bit more expensive. Actually, it's not in this analogy. Let's do this the right way. This offer is being sold by somebody you know, like, and trust. This offer is being sold by somebody you don't know. Everything else is the same. Let's make them the same. Everything else is the same. You're going to buy from this person because you know, like, and trust them. And you know what? All things being unequal. So let's say this is the person you know, like, and trust, but their product's a little bit more expensive. This is the person you don't know, like, or trust. You don't know them. Their product's a little cheaper. You're still going to buy from this person. That's because this person got out and engaged with you. That's because this person took the time to get to know you. There are 7 steps. 7 steps to selling. It's not just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, like so many salespeople tell you. Go for the close, go for the close, go for the close. No, not in this world, no. You've got to do the other 6 steps. Number 1, you got to prospect. You got to know where your people are. Number 2, you got to engage with those people. You got to get out and have some conversations with those people. You got to take action. Number 3, you gotta get what the problem is. They're not gonna buy. You can't sell them something if you don't understand the problem. Number 3 is you present the solution. Number 4 is you present the solution. So the point here is there's 7 steps. We're not gonna cover them all and sell like a woman this episode because they're too many, and I'm all fired up. But the point is you've got to rise up. Don't miss your shot. Get your mindset right. So when you get knocked down, and it's going to happen, as sure as my hair is red, you get back up. Step number 2 is you take action. And the first kind of action I want you to take, I don't care if you got a website, I don't care if you got an opt-in, I don't care what you got, is get out among your people. Put your name out there. Tell 3 people a day what you do. Hi, I'm Kendrick Shope, and I am a sales coach. I help you make more money, get more customers, whatever. I don't care. Get out there and take action. Imperfect action. Don't wait on it all to be perfect. The third step is you got to persevere. You got to persevere. You know, it took me 6 years to end up on a national television show. 6 years. I mean, it's no secret that I love the camera, at least when the camera's rolling. I hate still pictures, but I love the camera. It's no secret. I mean, hell, I started KTV 5 years ago, y'all. I mean, I want my own show, right? I'll put it out there. It's no secret. I love public speaking. That's no secret. 5 years to get on a national television show, and I had a lot of help along the way. You know what got me there? Making a lot of wrong turns, making a complete fool out of myself, falling down, and then rising up, taking more action, and persevering. Too many people give up on this dream of running a business that makes money, that has impact, that makes a difference, because it's hard. So what are your 3 steps? What does Alexander Hamilton, back from the grave, have to tell you today? Alexander Hamilton says, I don't know what Alexander Hamilton would say, so I'm going to pretend. I hate when people do this. You live in the greatest country in the world. Men fought for it. They died for it, to give you this opportunity to live in a way that of your choosing. And in today's society, that's a little scary because some of our very liberties are being tested, right? Men fought for it. Men died for it. Don't tell me you can't. I was an immigrant. I was broke. I worked on a goddamn slave ship. And if I can become a founding father of the United States of America, you can run a business that makes money. You can run a business that lands you on Oprah's couch or wherever you want to be. Don't tell me you can't. Step number 1, rise up. Don't miss your shot. Get your mindset right. Step 2, get out and take some action. This is your map, by the way. Mindset, action, perseverance. It's your map to running a business that makes money, makes an impact, and allows you to do what you love every day. It affords you a lifestyle that you only dreamed of. Mindset, action, perseverance. That's your map. So what do I want you to do? What's the takeaway from here? The takeaway today is I want you to sit down. No, I don't want you to. I hope that if you have a dream of running a business that makes money, that you're going to sit down and you're going to say, all right, I'm going to use this map thing. I'm going to take it seriously. Where am I sabotaging myself? Because we sabotage ourselves all the time. I do it. I do it still to this day. Where do you need to rise up? Where do you need to look fear in the face and say, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. You see, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. You need to Alexander Hamilton that shit. Number 2, action. Take it today. Whatever it is today, tell 3 people today what you do. I guarantee you, if you do this, you will make more money. I challenged my private clients last year to do this. They were like, that won't work. That won't work. I saw people go from $0 a month to $5,000 a month. I saw people go from $0 to $10,000 a month. And you know what? I see people go from $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month just by telling 3 people a day what you do. And social media makes it so dang easy. You don't have to knock on doors like Barack Obama or Jimmy Carter or John F. Kennedy. You can do it on social media. But nobody's listening, Kendrick. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking, but nobody watches my business page. I put it out there and I just hear crickets and it's demotivating. Keep going. Step number 3, persevere. If you do it long enough, people will pay attention. But you've got to earn their respect. You know, declaring that you're going to run a business is the easy part. Running the business, getting noticed, that's the hard part. Put it out there. Map. Don't throw away your shot. Rise up. Get your mindset right. Step number 2, take action. Be with your people. Engage with your people. And step number 3 is persevere, which is a little bit of when you get knocked down, you get back up. But it's more along the lines of don't straddle the fence. You're in or out. If you want this, it is there for the taking. But you got to want it so bad that you can almost taste it. You got to want to sit next to Steve Harvey, scared shitless, wondering how the hell you got here. And if you're a fake and a fraud, and be able to smile when the camera comes on and say, you're dang right, I deserve to be here. You got to want it. You got to want it that bad. You got to persevere when the bank calls and says, you bounced a check and you don't have any money coming in. You got to persevere. You got to persevere when your husband or your spouse or your significant other says, you know what? I think this has become a really expensive hobby and you need to give it up. You got to persevere. But the good news is we don't have to persevere through guns and ships and cannons going boom, like in Alexander Hamilton's day. We have to persevere through this great country that affords us opportunities to be able to say, you can run a business that makes money. You can impact millions. You can make millions. You just got to sell like a woman, and you got to look fear in the face and say, watch me. Watch me. Step number 1, rise up. Step number 2, take action. Get out amongst your people. Step number 3, persevere. That's how you run a business that makes money and impacts millions. I'd like to thank our dead guest, Alexander Hamilton, for dropping by today and letting me probably make a complete fool out of myself by talking about what it takes for you to run a business that gives you the life and the business that you dream of. I'm Kendrick Shope. I believe in you and I believe in your business. You can do this. Let's go.